Hey everybody, welcome to Constructed Clash. I'm Spencer. This is Blue Eye Control. I lost my last recording, so we're doing this again. Well, thank you everybody so much for joining. Don't forget that you can check out Mason's side of Constructed Clash at patreon.com/ccmtg. This week we're playing Blue Eye Control. This is the deck that I'm testing for the RPTQ. I played it at the last RPTQ where I lost the round not to make the Pro Tour. In fact, it was the only round I lost the whole day. So, I kind of wrote the deck off because of bad feelings. But, as I've tested it more and more, this keeps coming back to the deck that I kind of want to play. So, what are we playing? Why are we playing it? Let's start with the lands. We're playing 27 lands. The 27th land is actually a third colorless land. It's an Arch of Orazca. And honestly, I just like the card. Like, the thing is that you don't always get to draw your Search of Azcanta, and you don't always get to flip it. And then late game, sometimes you're like, the search isn't very good, and then eventually it'll flip anyway. But I'd like to kind of have a third continuous draw effect that isn't Search for Azcanta. I really don't want the third one. So, instead, I played an extra land because I'm playing, lots of big mana spells, and it really fits in. That's the rest of the deck is really similar. I know a lot of people play 27 lands and they play 2 Memorial of Genius. That's totally fine. I get it. This is just how I've been playing the deck. It's been really successful for me. Being that I've lost 1 total competitive REL match in 3 events. I'm a little salty right now. I'm not sure why. I don't know if you guys are feeling the salt. It's because the Pro Tour is in like a couple hours and I'm not there, I think. But, alright, so we have 3 Seal Away, 2 Blink of an Eye, 2 Essence Scatter, 1 Negate, 2 Search. So, Seal Away is really important in the fact that it's just kind of good. Like, most decks have to win through creature combat, and you just have a 2 mana removal spell to exile stuff. It's actually kind of funny. I think that Cleansing Nova would actually be insane in this deck if you didn't have to play Cast Out and Seal Away. But it's still really good. Seal Away is able to deal with things like Ronus is a big one. Hazoret's another big one. And being able to get rid of Hazoret for 2 mana is a pretty big deal because it means that you can do things like Essence Scatter something and get rid of a Hazoret. You get a double spell more often when your removal spells get to kill Hazoret in those matchups. Blink of an Eye is something that I've played all kinds of different numbers on. I'm relatively impressed with it. I mean, I always liked Into the Void or Into the Royal? Into the Royal. That's probably not the name of the card either. Who knows? But I've always been impressed with this card. No different in this deck. One of the things that we'll see here is kind of my ending package. We have 4 Teferi, 1 Gearhulk, and 1 Gideon of the Trials. You'll also notice my draw spells are actually a Hieroglyphic Illumination and Pull from Tomorrow. So to be clear, I often wonder if it's just correct to play 2 Gearhulk, 2 Hieroglyphic Illumination, and 1 less Cast Out. But I've actually been kind of impressed with this list. So I'm keeping with it. Gideon is kind of good right now because of things like mono green, being able to have another threat that's not Teferi specifically. In fact, let's be real. It's a thing that kills your opponent that you can get off of Search for Azcanta that isn't Teferi. It's actually really important, I found, in the games where you're trying to close things out. Other than that, I'm really happy with everything. This will be fun for editing, but we had to move our commit memory over because I'd like to talk about that too. Commit memory is another one where you get to activate memory when you're so far ahead that you actually don't care if they draw 7 cards, because it refills your deck full of so many cards that are relevant at that point of the game that even if they like double spell, you don't care. You have 10 mana in play. You get to counter the first thing that they do and then kill another thing, and then you get all your Settles and Cleansing Novas back. So overall, I have really, this is like, I'm going to be honest, this is my favorite control deck I've ever played. And I played Callblade, I played Blue White with Elspeth, I played Esper Control with Elspeth. I mean, I've played all of the control decks, and honestly, this one is my favorite. I really like Search for Azcanta, I really like Settle the Wreckage, I really like the kind of the overall package is. The sideboard we have is 3 Knight of Grace, 2 Aether Meltdown, 2 Negate, 2 Invoke the Divine, 3 History of Benalia, 1 more Cleansing Nova, and 2 Lyra. So the only thing right now that I'm questioning is the Invoke the Divine. I don't actually know how good this card is right now in the metagame. In fact, I could consider bringing this down to 1, making it a Forsake the Worldly, and then finding room for other cards, and then maybe switching my main deck up a little bit. But this is what we're playing today. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I think the Counterspell suite is interesting. I think Essence Scatter is at an all-time high. I think that Syncopate is at an all-time high. And we're just going to see what happens. So, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you guys during the gameplay video.